Let's move into main topic number 2. And our second main topic today gets submitted to us by Michael Burgett, who writes, "Hey, John. Been watching your show for a while and enjoying your takes, whether I agree or disagree." Thank you so much, Michael. That's the whole idea. Deadline is now reporting that Mission Impossible 7 and 8 are no longer being filmed back-to-back because Tom Cruise will be doing press for Top Gun Maverick. What are your thoughts on the new Mission Impossible shooting schedule? And is this good news about Maverick being released this summer? All right, thanks a lot for sending that in. And yeah, so you guys know that for the longest time, the plan here was for them to shoot Mission Impossible 7 and 8. And there's already been a lot of drama around the production. This thing has been shut down by COVID. Then there was the whole Tom Cruise beaking off at some guys that I thought was totally well-deserved. At any rate, and they were supposed to shoot it back-to-back with episode 8. Well, apparently now that's not going to happen. This comes to us from the folks over at Deadline who write, "Sources said this is simply down the fact that they're no longer going to be shooting back-to-back. This is simply down to shifting release calendars. Star Tom Cruise will now be needed on a promotional tour duties by the studio for Top Gun Maverick ahead of that film's planned release on July 2nd, and will be out of action for a period of time. Once that film has rolled out, hopefully to packed cinemas in a post-COVID world, production on Mission Impossible 8 can begin, meaning the gap shouldn't be too impactful." All right, that comes to us from the folks over at Deadline. This is interesting on a couple of fronts. Number one, it's not like they had to cancel shooting back-to-back and now they're going to have to start shooting Mission Impossible 8 in 18 months, right? There's going to be a couple of months window that they're going to have to break for, and then they'll come back and jump on getting Mission Impossible 8 done. So yeah, it's not shooting it back to back, but again, it's not like they had to bump it too awful much. So there's that aspect of it. The second aspect of it is the fact that this kind of speaks that the studio is pretty convinced. I mean, you have to be, if you're going to shift your entire production schedule for an entire movie, for a promotional tour, right or wrong, it means they're at least convinced, again, whether they're right or wrong, they're convinced that, yeah, this thing's coming out on June 2nd in theaters. Because Rob, you know that when you move entire production schedules, that isn't free. That you've lost money by altering production schedules, probably a lot of it. And you're costing yourself a lot of time and money. So it seems that they're convinced this thing is going to hit theaters on the date that it's scheduled to come out. Maybe they're right, maybe they're wrong. Rob, with such a short break, I don't think this is going to interfere with their production plans too terribly much on Mission Impossible 8. But Rob, you see this whole thing. What stands out to you?
Well, one, like you said, maybe Top Gun Maverick will indeed come out when it's supposed to. And that, John, that's exciting because I have to tell you, despite the fact that it's coming, 34 years after the original, I can't wait to see this movie. I really want to. I really want to see it. But two, look, if anything, someone's going to make a documentary about how Mission Impossible 7 soldiered on through COVID. And because of the Herculean efforts of Tom Cruise and McQuarrie and the production team, I mean, Tom Cruise paid for the whole crew to be housed in a boat offshore to cut down on with a controlled environment, to cut down on their potential exposure to COVID. They did it. They were all over the world. They did it. They made this thing happen. I mean, they had an impossible mission themselves as filmmakers, and they accepted it, and they apparently completed it. So kudos to them. I don't think this is going to cause that much of a delay. It'll give them time to take a breather, see what they've got in terms of the footage, put things together. And, I really don't think it's that big a deal. The crew probably needs a break anyway.
Right.
I mean, they go home to their families, they get re-energized. It's probably the best thing for everybody. It's the best of all possible worlds.
All right, question here is, guys, what do you think about this? Do you think this break between the production of Mission Impossible Episode 7 and Mission Impossible Episode 8 is going to affect it too terribly much? We don't think so, but maybe it could. Also, do you agree with us that this kind of seems like this means Paramount is pretty sure they're releasing on that date? What do you guys think? Jump down into the comments section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys.